Spotify is more than just an app people open when they want background music. It is one of the companies that changed how the world listens. Before streaming became normal, music was split between physical albums, paid downloads, radio, and piracy. Spotify helped popularize a different idea. Instead of owning songs, users could access a huge library instantly, on demand, across devices. Founded in Sweden in April 2006 by Daniel Ek and Martin Lorentzon, Spotify grew into one of the largest music streaming services in the world. By March 2026, it had over 777 million monthly active users, including 300 million paying subscribers. Those numbers show why Spotify is not just a music company. It is a global technology platform sitting between listeners, artists, record labels, advertisers, podcast creators, and device makers. The original appeal of Spotify was simple: make legal music access easier than piracy. In the mid-2000s, many listeners were already used to finding music online, but the legal options often felt limited, fragmented, or expensive. Spotify's founders built around a freemium model, meaning basic access would be free, while premium features would cost money. This was crucial. A free tier could attract users who might otherwise download music illegally, while the paid tier could generate recurring subscription revenue. The service launched with licensed, DRM-protected audio content, meaning songs could be streamed inside Spotify's system but not freely copied like ordinary files. That structure gave listeners convenience while giving rights holders some control over distribution. Spotify's catalog is one of its biggest advantages. The platform offers over 100 million songs and more than 7 million podcast titles from record labels, media companies, and creators. For users, that scale changes expectations. Instead of asking whether an album is available at a local store, or whether a download is worth buying, listeners expect nearly everything to be searchable in seconds. Spotify lets users search by artist, album, or genre, then jump directly into a track, playlist, or recommendation. This enormous catalog also helps Spotify become part of everyday routines: commuting, studying, exercising, working, cooking, or relaxing. The more complete the library feels, the less reason users have to leave the platform. The free and paid versions of Spotify are designed to feel connected, but different enough to push some users toward a subscription. The basic free service includes advertisements and more limited control, depending on the device and market. That trade-off gives people access without paying upfront, but it also reminds them what they are missing. Premium subscriptions remove ads and unlock features like offline listening and commercial-free listening. Offline listening is especially important because it turns Spotify from an internet-only service into something users can rely on while traveling, commuting through weak signal areas, or conserving mobile data. The premium experience is not just about removing annoyance, it is about making music feel seamless. One of Spotify's strongest features is not simply that it hosts music, but that it organizes music around user behavior. Playlists are central to the experience. Users can create, edit, and share their own playlists, turning collections of songs into personal soundtracks, party mixes, workout sets, or mood-based libraries. This matters because playlists changed how many people discover music. Instead of buying a full album or waiting for radio rotation, listeners can move through themed collections built by themselves, friends, Spotify editors, or recommendation systems. Playlist culture also affects artists, because being added to the right playlist can introduce a song to millions of listeners who were not searching for that artist directly. Spotify also borrows from social media. Users can create profiles, follow friends, message, share playlists, and listen together through features such as jams. These tools make listening less private and more interactive. Music has always had a social side. People recommend songs, make mixtapes, exchange albums, and build identity around taste. Spotify digitizes that behavior. A shared playlist can become a group project. A listening party can turn separate devices into a shared moment. Social features also keep users inside the platform longer, because Spotify is not only where they hear music, it becomes where they display taste, discover what friends are playing, and participate in music culture. Spotify's reach is global, but not universal. As of December 2022, it was available in 184 markets across most of Europe, Africa, the Americas, Asia, and Oceania. Its largest user and revenue bases remain heavily tied to the United States and Europe, which together accounted for around 53% of users and 67% of revenue. That difference matters. Some regions may provide huge growth in listener numbers, while others generate more revenue per user through subscriptions and advertising markets. Spotify also has no presence in mainland China, where the market is dominated by services such as QQ Music. So while Spotify is a global giant, its map still reflects licensing realities, competition, local regulation, and regional consumer behavior. Another reason Spotify became so embedded in daily life is device availability. The service works on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux computers, iOS and Android phones and tablets, smart home devices such as Amazon Echo and Google Nest products, and digital media players like Roku. This cross-device strategy makes Spotify feel less like a single app and more like an audio layer across modern technology. A listener might start a podcast on a phone, continue music on a laptop, then play a playlist through a smart speaker at home. That continuity strengthens habit. When a service follows users from pocket to desk to living room, it becomes harder to replace. Spotify is also a major internet destination. As of December 2023, it ranked as the 47th most visited website in the world, with the United States supplying the largest share of traffic at 24.78%, followed by Brazil at 6.51%, according to SEMrush data. This web presence matters even though many people think of Spotify as a mobile app. The website supports discovery, sharing, search traffic, artist pages, podcast pages, and direct links passed around on social platforms. When a song, album, playlist, or podcast episode can be opened through a simple link, Spotify becomes part of the broader web ecosystem. That helps creators distribute content and helps the platform capture attention from outside its own app. Spotify's growth is not limited to technology and music libraries, it also invests in culture and branding. Since 2022, Spotify has been the sponsor of Spanish football club FC Barcelona. That partnership connects the streaming platform to one of the world's most visible sports brands. It has also included collaborations where artists such as Drake, Travis Scott, and Ed Sheeran appear through special shirt logo changes, sometimes tied to album promotions. These moments show how Spotify positions itself at the intersection of music, sports, fandom, and marketing. For Spotify, being on a football shirt is not just advertising space. It is a way to make the brand visible inside global cultural events. The most debated part of Spotify is how money flows to artists. Unlike physical albums or download sales, where a listener pays a fixed price for a song or album, Spotify pays royalties based on streams. More specifically, an artist's streams are counted as a proportion of total songs streamed, and Spotify distributes approximately 70% of total revenue to rights holders. Those rights holders are often record labels, not the artists directly. The labels then pay artists based on individual contracts. This structure means the amount an artist receives from Spotify can depend on many layers: total platform revenue, total streaming volume, label agreements, publishing rights, and the artist's own deal. Supporters argue that Spotify gives artists a lawful, scalable alternative to piracy and pays whenever music is played. In that view, streaming creates ongoing revenue from songs that might otherwise generate nothing after an initial sale, or might be illegally copied without payment. Critics argue that the royalty structure can make it difficult for many musicians to earn meaningful income, especially when payments are filtered through labels and divided across enormous streaming totals. Some also worry that streaming has changed listening habits away from album purchases and toward individual tracks and playlists. So Spotify's legacy is complicated. It made music more accessible than ever, built one of the largest audio platforms in history, and helped define the streaming era. But it also forced the music industry to keep asking a difficult question: when access replaces ownership, who captures the value? If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.